your baby, you see, when we were young, I like referring to that age because things just changed abruptly, and I just wonder what happened. Nowadays, your favorite online influencer on TV is marketing the best and the newest diapers in children, right? And these diapers will be used very soon in adults because of the alphabets. So men will be wearing these adult pampers very soon. Just wait and see. We'll be here and we will say, when we were talking about pampers. So this is the reality. That there's a difference between the nappies, we used to call them napkins. The nappies and the diapers. You call them diapers or diapers, whatever the case, whoever taught you English. There's a huge difference in terms of the fabric that is used to prepare this, to make this, the ingredients that are used to make these diapers and these napkins. Those days, a baby used to wear napkins, okay? Zilikuwa zinafungwa na kipini vizuri. There was a technique of tying this baby with a napkin or the nappies, and they were made of cotton. And when the baby urinates or poops in these nappies, they were changed. So therefore, the exposure of this baby's skin to the stool and the microorganisms that are coming with the urine was very limited. Immediately the baby urinates, the mother senses that. They change the nappies, they clean up the baby, new nappies. Sometimes they let the babies play naked. We used to have these long t-shirts that we used to pin hapa katikati ya miguu, so that now it's a t-shirt at the same time it's a short. When the sun is there now, the balls are rotating, they open up those buttons, and you go and play with your manhood, just playing around, rolling around. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. That environment is supposed to be totally aerated. Nowadays, I don't even see nappies. Where did they go to? I'll call them napkins because that's what we grew up knowing. Where are the napkins now that we have to buy diapers which are made up of chemicals which are so refined, and they mess up the fertility of these babies, they mess up the hormone regulation, and we put this baby in diapers the whole day because that diaper has an ability of absorbing this urine, so you don't need to change it all the time. That thing was designed for you when you're traveling. I remember those days, a woman would just change nappies in the matatus. We used to have these matatus that were called face me. Then that had that chuma there, you hold it and bend in the matatu. Do you remember that? So we used to sit this side and face others, and we are facing each other. The Pujo 544. So you wear this mother is busy there changing the diaper, the nappies, and you're wondering, hey, where is the shame? They had no shame because there's nothing shameful about changing a baby's napkins. There's nothing shameful about that. But nowadays, a woman wants to be modern. They're buying the best and the new quality of pampers. You put on your baby, and the baby sits in those pampers all through. And nowadays, the cases of baby rash and the nappy rash are always there, which is a fungal infection because of the filthy environment that is being created by these nappies or these diapers. Most Ushago people are still using napkins, very comfortable and healthy for the. Yes, they are made of cotton. You can actually, and you see, they used to wash them and air them in the sun because you cannot air a nappy in the house just the same way you people do. You air your panties and your towels inside the house. They used to air them in the sun so that they get hit by the sun, and the sun is actually a natural sterilizing agent. The UV radiation destroys microorganisms. Imagine that. So these people are not stupid. We are the ones who are stupid. Now you see that advertisement of a diaper through your social media influencer, and you run to buy it. You don't even care about the ingredients that were used to make these diapers. You're busy taking them on your children, and the child stays in them for all this time. And then you start wondering, by the time they're getting to teenage, they're having erectile dysfunction. They experience only one erection. I remember we used to be after being bathed in that besheni ya maji. You sat there, you just play with water, and then now you put on the laps. You enjoy a very very good sun on your back. Nowadays, do you take your children out to enjoy the sun? Do you? You're living in apartments. Your balcony does not even get the sun, and it's always stuffed. Oh, well. It's chaotic. Out here is very chaotic. But we shall one day be understood. So start taking care of that baby before you even get pregnant. So basically start taking care of yourself. And then when you get pregnant, everything will be smooth. Even the Maasai still use napkin most of the time. Well done. Yes, Sunkist. Yes.
Sasa daktari,
Niko salama kwaje?
wacha nikwambie daktari, unaona mimi wanakwambia,
Yeah.
We are trying to educate people. There are so many theories our people don't understand them, and it is so hard to bring these theories,
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you something, we used to be in a very good setting.
Yeah.
We never had these diseases. Yeah? As I was saying, I used to think the hospital was for the rich people. You understand?
Exactly.
I used to think that because we never used to go to these hospitals. We never used to do that. Nowadays, unapata mama, she's working really hard. That is a modern woman. She's calling herself modern. She goes to work when the husband is leaving the house.
Yeah.
And she goes to the office. Anarejea, anapeleka watoto weekend.
Yeah.
The maid knows the diet. Even the maid is being asked, utapikia watoto nini? Imagine a maid being asked, utapikia watoto nini? Because the mom is not even interested.
Imagine.
She's working for the money. Alafu maid, just because maid out nowadays, they are not even illiterate.
Yeah.
Our maids are very intelligent. Ni vile tu hawana godfathers out there to give them work. So what will this maid do? Ako na simu yake, atapatia mtoto pizza, apatie mtoto mkate, apatie ile. See, the mom is working hard.
Yeah.
Anapatia hizo mabiskuti zote. These kids are feeding sugar. Alafu wanapelekwa mbele ya TV, wanaitwa coco melon.
Good.
Do you know coco melon? Nobody's even watching this thing in the Western world because they found out that pedophiles are showing coco melon, teaching the kids. You know there's a scandal with coco melon. Lakini angalia vile watoto wetu walifanyiwa. Angalia watoto wetu wamewekewa coco melon. Mzazi ambaye mtoto anaangalia coco melon, they think the kids are very rich. And our village kids who are making tires na matairi, they are being seen as outward.
Yeah.
And we are feeding our kids sijui nani, I don't know, there's Nick, ameenda amependa sijui nani, and it's a boy. And people don't realize our kids are watching them. You know why?
Yeah.
Because when I come home from working hard for those coco melon, I'm going to go to TikTok. Nianze kuangalia hawa ambao wanagombana huku kwa TikTok. Unaona?
Yeah.
I don't have time. How many times do you go in a live? The mother is on live, mtoto anakuja namwambia mami, anaambia chukua songea huko.
They call auntie, come and pick this baby.
Imagine.
And it's midnight.
And you're so happy. You are interesting yourself in people who don't even live in your homestead. Umejifungia mahali, unaambia auntie chukua mtoto, mpatie kitu anataka. Because you worked hard for that sukari. You worked hard for diabetic.
Yeah.
You worked hard for that disease. Unamwambia auntie chukua mtoto mpatie peremende anataka, and the kid eats the peremende, goes in front of coco melon, starts watching coco melon. Kana pedophiles were there behind those coco melon, wanamfundisha don't love Samantha, anza kupenda Nick. Unaona? And the kid is being fed. Mama mara ngapi anakwambia my kid anajua cooperate coco melon peke yake, anacheka hapo. Are you okay? Are you okay?
We are conditioning.
We are knowing how to operate a phone before knowing how to learn ABCD. Are you okay?
We are conditioning these babies from a very early age. And you see, most of these households, you take a clear look at them. The mother is on diabetic medication, the father is on the same medication, and the children are always on cough syrups and asthma medication. So the house is actually a mini pharmacy. And now they are even getting mental retardation because they are being conditioned to think in a certain way. Now they are watching drag queens. Now they are watching all these things. They're being told different colors. I remember we used to
in the syrup, in the cough syrup, there's diazepam. You know that medicine?
Yeah.
Very dangerous medicine.
Actually, most of those cough syrups have medications that actually suppress the respiratory centers. So what are you doing? You're giving a child a cough syrup to help them recover from cough, but the same cough syrup has drugs that suppress the breathing centers in the brain. What are you doing?
And you know, as when the kid just comes, mama, hii ni simu yangu imezima, anapelekwa kwa daktari. Daktari anaandika syrup.
Yeah.
Very dangerous. Mtoto anaenda kulala, anakufa kwa usingizi.
But the doctors are told.
The drilling system has been affected.
Doctors are told by the medical representatives to push these drugs. So when you come in, the doctor doesn't care. As long as you have a health insurance, that is a shopping voucher for them. They will take as much as they want from that insurance cover. But you'll never know. Of course, you have a very healthy insurance. What do you mean? I mean, I have a government insurance, or I have insurance from this private company that does very well. So I just have to go to hospital and take. Like, you're using it as a shopping voucher for drugs. Heaven's sake.
Exactly. Alafu acha nikwambie daktari, imagine sasa wewe daktari umetoka hapo umetupatia live, you're not feeling okay, yeah? You're very good, you've told us everything, and then you go in the corner, things are not good on you.
Yeah.
You don't do gym, you don't go to the sun,
Yeah.
You go in your room. What happens to you? You get depressed.
Yeah.
Utaenda utasema, okay, me, I'm okay on social media, but I'm depressed.
Sure.
Uende kwa psychiatrist. And you know, psychiatrists are not doctors. Those are people who are trying to be doctors. The medicine course was too expensive, or they broke up their medical course.
Violence.
Don't give up in life. You can still be called a small doctor. So you go in a room, make your office, and then you say, I'm a psychiatrist. You understand?
A disclaimer.
Medicine, I'm dealing with a soul.
A disclaimer. These are not my words.
You are dealing now with a soul. Hey. Remember, a soul you have never seen. We have never seen the soul. Those voices we get in our head until now, nobody has ever said, maybe I'm studying the soul in the head. You know, we only talk of soul.
Yeah.
Like it's something there in us because the voice is in the brain. Nobody has ever discovered what those voices are. The voice that is telling you maybe Sankis is talking nonsense. Nobody has ever discovered. Yeah. You're telling me I'm talking nonsense? You've never talked about it. You know. So, that doctor is being told you've broke up the medical cause. Usikufe moyo. Nenda ukue psychiatrist. You start listening to people's problems. So, wewe, utaenda kwa psychiatrist. Umwambie mimi niko na shida ya soul. Nataka kuambia, oh, your soul is safe with me. Hajawahi ona.
But most psychiatrists are depressed.
They are, because listening to those stories, it makes them even more crazy.
Yeah.
You know, it makes me... mtu anakuja na kwamba mimi nilificha nikaficha hapo 20 years. Wewe unajua utatoka hapo kwa hiyo ofisi ukiwa mwendazimu kushinda wewe mtu. Unajua?
It's a crazy world out here. But anyway, one day we shall be heard. We shall be louder and they'll listen to us.
Anyway, daktari, wewe umeenda pale umwambia watu wangu ni wazuri wamenisikiza, but mimi siko sawa. Instead of going out to the gym, instead of going outside where the sun is, it contains vitamin D. It gives you, the sun gives us very good moods. You know, once you're depressed, hata ukipigana na bibi, utoke tu kwa nyumba, utembee even 20 minutes. It's enough to make you see the future again. But wewe utaenda kwa kale karoom kako, ufunge curtains, uzime taa,
umeze and swallow,
start hearing voices.
And then swallow an antidepressant.
Then you go to antidepressant. And you know what did they write on the antidepressant?
Yeah.
They write to you, this is a very good medicine. It will give you serotonin. You know serotonin, the hormone that gives you good moods.
Yeah.
It will give serotonin. But it also counterfeits. Because if you don't take this medicine, you break it before 3 weeks, you are going to have suicidal thoughts.
Yes.
Because those medicines, they just block that voices that you always hear, which is normal. It's part of the human brain to try and understand its environment. Those medicines, they block that way. And then you have serotonin, you don't even think of the bad things. And when the euphoria ends, you come back to square one. The medicine is not there anymore. Then you need more medicines.
Yeah, of course.
So you go to Prozac, you go to nonsense things, because you cannot do without this. That voice is being blocked. You don't want to hear the voice.
Yeah.
And once you start hearing the voice, they're winning you. You start wondering, I was okay with this medicine. I was not hearing any voice. Why am I hearing the voice again?
Yeah.
You go on the bridge and keep yourself. And it is written there. You're going to keep yourself once you stop.
Yeah, you're right.
Pharmaceutical company is the worst. These medicines, we never used to use them. Before we got this industrialized, before we start isolating ourselves with the phones, we used to have the GG men, wazee wa mtaa. And you used to have problems. We take my wife, I say my wife, you cheated on me, lakini tutaenda kwa mzee wa mtaa. Mzee wa mtaa atatuambia, hii ni makosa ya leo, tujenge dunia ya kesho. we will understand myself with my wife and husband, unaona. Lakini sahii hatuendi kwa wazee wa vijiji, tunaenda kwa Prozac, tunaenda kwa Xanax, tunaenda kwa vitu zingine, unaona. And then when we come out of that Xanax, we go and stand on the bridge, tunachukua watoto ambao they are very innocent, tunaruka nao kwa maji. Why? Because these medicines don't make sense. We need human interaction. We need human interaction. That telephone, that iPhone you're buying for 100,000 will not give you a shoulder to lean on. Even the pictures you're sending, we filter them. We're not sending the normal pictures. So we are lying to ourselves before even lying to the world.
But you see, the best memories are in your brain. The best memories are not on pictures, on photos. Best memories are in your head.
Exactly. And daktari, mimi nakupenda because you are so original. You want us to go back to our setting. That setting was beautiful.
Yeah.
But we really thought we were poor and we dismantled it.
Good.
We were not poor. We were very much okay.
Good. Man, thank you, Sunkist.
Anyway,
thank you. That was awesome, man. Hey. Thank you so much for that insight. That was deep. I'm sorry for those who don't get Swahili. This one was a deeper one. I don't know even how to interpret it. Hi, this is Chamazare. Here, UAE households are walking chemists. They take medicines as food, and nannies are mothers to their kids since day one. They don't even breastfeed their kids. Now listen to that. That is a very serious thing. You guys in the United Arab Emirates, I don't care your culture or whatever. You guys don't breastfeed, and these are countries that have a lot of processed food. So your children don't even have food; they eat products. There is no food in these countries, and your hospital setups are so well. They are so well designed, but the reality is just the government and the big pharma, hand in hand. They are in bed. Good. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a question here. How about children who are in boarding schools? Now, we can only handle what we can handle, right? We cannot control the outcomes of what is happening in boarding schools. They are there, they are part of the system. They feed our children, they actually condition our children to the syllabus. They feed our children with unhealthy foods, but we cannot do anything about that. But when these children come back home, feed them with healthy foods. Now, the issue is this: most women are running away from parenting. So you end up talking to the man softly, and because your man is emotional, you end up taking very small babies, a child from class 6 or from class 4, all the way to high school. These children are in boarding schools. Why? Why? My friends, I went to a public school, and I'm not saying you take your children to public school. I know you've achieved so much. You've worked so hard to get money to take your children to private school. Why don't you do homeschooling if you are told you have a lot of money? Why don't you do homeschooling? Why would you allow your child to go and be indoctrinated? So why don't you do homeschooling? But anyway, because we have schools and children have to go through that school, because of what is, of course, the culture. Whatever is happening in schools, you have no control over. Let these children go through that. And children have very good immunities. So let them go through that. But when they come back home, they should find a schedule. They should find you eating healthy foods, and then they adapt into that. But nowadays, a mother and a daughter are having a discussion about foods. My friends, where do you get that guts from? How are you raising these children? Like a mother and a daughter are having a conversation about what to be cooked in the kitchen of that mother. A father is actually bargaining on what should be eaten in his home with a child. Are you kidding me? My friend, you will be slapped like thunder. You eat what is there and what is supposed to be eaten. You're there saying, oh, we've not eaten chapati in 6 months. Who are you? Are you counting for me? Who is the parent here? Yeah, you can go and start your life and now cook your chapati every single day and nobody will ask you. So make sure that at home there is order, and this has to come from the men. Wake up, because the financial burden that is coming through the health of these babies or these children, it is coming to you directly. It is coming to you. Children used to eat fruits. There were no problem because these fruits were not GMO and they were seasonal. We used to hang on trees and eat these mangoes raw with salt. But nowadays, mangoes are all in season and they are ripe. They are so sugary. They have no fiber. Most fruits don't have even seeds. They are so appealing. And when they eat all this nonsense, they end up having all the problems with health. And guess who is going to bear the burden of that? The man. But of course, most men are weak. They're sharing bills, so they don't see a big problem. Most of the men have a lot of very healthy insurance because of their jobs. And now they think that an insurance is a shopping voucher. It is not.